being able to have a player who doesn't get phased by it. I call them COVID babies because they're truly like they're different. They're different because me growing up with all of my peers, we had stage fright. We had real nerves coming up.
Hello, Potter. Thank you for taking the time to answer my question. First of all, how are you feeling after this game, both in terms of the way the boys performed today and they were able to show today also?
Yeah, definitely a disappointing day. There's definitely no other way to put it. Not only did we have a slow start, we didn't stick to our game plan, and the first match jitters were just so obvious. And I thought for us as a team, it's definitely something we talked about after kickoff, and it's something we had an issue with during kickoff. So, I think it's a good thing for us as a team that we got this first match out of the way, but there's definitely a lot of things we have to talk about as a squad.
Okay, thank you. So, do you feel maybe like the level of the player showed today is not a reflection of what you've been working on practice every day? And do you have an example maybe?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, definitely, we were just being way too timid to start. I mean, on the defense already to start, we just weren't reacting. I had to take my pause in the third round because, that wasn't our game plan. That's not what we agreed on coming into the game. And it's just we have two players that are a lot more inexperienced. We have Douglas, who is foreign. His English isn't as comfortable. And so, as soon as we start getting a little bit uneasy, it shows in the game. We start not reacting as fast as we should. We start playing too timid, too shy, not being aggressive enough. So, it was kind of the story of today for us as a team.
Okay, thank you. So during a VCT segment, maybe it was on kickoff, I don't really remember, but you mentioned that you enjoy fishing and that you sometimes take some of your player with you. How important is it as a coach to build this kind of human connection with your player outside of the game?
Um, that's a good question. It's a good question. I would say it is really important, but at the same time, it's not. I mean, in esports, you don't have to be best friends with your teammates to be successful. You don't have to, have your teammates be your therapist and tell them all your deepest, darkest secrets and synergize outside of the server to be successful. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. Does it help? Absolutely. Especially if you're an underdog, especially if you don't have the confidence individually at the moment, everything helps. And so for us, synergizing outside of the server, going through those motions is definitely a big part of my team culture, but it's not priority. It's definitely not what our focus is. But since I love fishing, since I love eating, it's really easy to include those kinds of things with the team building.
Okay, thank you. So also about also about the relationship between the AGL and the coach is often a crucial one with the team. How does that work for you on a daily basis with Com, especially when it's come to relaying ideas before matches, reading the game together, and using timeout to communicate like the right adjustment to rest of the team?
Yeah. It's a delicate balance. It definitely is a delicate balance. Especially because with Corbin, he has so much experience. He has so much that he wants to do in the server. So finding that kind of happy medium and being able to get both of our points across, it's been a learning curve for both of us. And for Corbin, it's his first year IGLing. And so just setting him up to be able to have a long path forward ahead of him as an IGL has been a huge focus for me and just making sure he feels comfortable in this role. But yes, that my relationship with Corbin is definitely it helps because we've known each other for so long. We won together, and before we won together, we lost a lot together. So we have that developed relationship, and it's helped. It's definitely helped with four new players coming into this year. But there's just a lot of other things that we're also working on with getting Douglas comfortable, getting Bao comfortable, and on top of that, getting Corbin comfortable in the IGL role. So we're trying to tackle all of those things at the same time right now.
Okay, thank you. So you were talking a bit about the balance of the IGL. I want to talk a bit about another balance. Um, EG current roster is full of talent with proven like a veteran and rookie who have a lot of raw potential. As a coach, how do you balance those different profiles in order to build a team that's in both cohesive and competitive also?
That's the challenging part, right? That's definitely the challenging part, especially, for Oki, he's an incredible controller player. And then I have Superman, who's also an incredible controller player. But right now, Oki, he's being an insane flex. I've got him on Waylay, I've got him on KO, I've got him on a bunch of different kind of agents. And so, um, again, finding that balance, we're going through a lot of growing pains right now. Oki has to be able to determine whether he's setting up Douglas or whether he's trying to set up himself. And so again, finding that balance, that's what we suffered from today.
Okay, thank you. So when it's come to the atmosphere within the group, we can see like different personalities express themselves in very different ways. You were talking about Okeanos. I was thinking mostly on him, about him, who really feel likes a character of his own and a strong presence on stage. We also
Mm.
see it with like the post before the match today. How important is it for a roster to have a personality like that? And what can a player like him bring to the team dynamic beyond just his in-game impact?
It's really nice to have a person on stage that doesn't get phased by it. Because, I was talking about the slow start we had, the on-stage jitters. Being able to have a player who doesn't get phased by it, I call them COVID babies because they're truly like they're different. They're different. Because me growing up with all of my peers, we had stage fright. We had real nerves coming up. But definitely these youngins, they have a different kind of energy to them. And so figuring out how to capitalize on Oki's comfort on that stage, to ride the momentum, especially in this game, it's been a problem that we're trying to tackle so that we can actually take advantage of Oki being so free on that stage. But there's five of us. There's five of us, and there's some of us that are kind of nervous still and kind of uneasy. And so we just got to build the trust. We got to build the trust. And, going into practice on Monday, I'm going to mention in my interview, the interviewer mentioned how free and how much fun Oki's having. So we're going to lean into that for next week's match.
Okay, let's go deal. So Riot unveiled the new 2027 format this week, and I wanted to get your perspective as a coach on it. Do you think it's a real step forward for the VCT ecosystem? And from your point of view, what will be the main benefits or possibly the limitation of this new format and teams and for teams and players?
I don't know if I'm smart enough to articulate all my thoughts in a nice little small package, but at first glance, it was really a pleasant news for me. I really was happy to hear that this was the direction that Valorant was going to head in. But honestly, after some more thought on it, I really, it's tough. I come from CS. I come from a CS calendar, and I come from the um, the Wild Wild West kind of format of anybody can make it, and I love that. I've always been an underdog, so I love these kinds of storylines. But having an official structure to where, it's kind of elevated esports in my eyes, thinking back 15 years ago with League of Legends and with the studios being in LA. I don't know. Honestly, it's a toss up. I'm gonna say I like it. I'm a fan. I love going back to old school and having that open calendar, being able to travel, being able to have open tournaments. I love the idea of it. But when I think back 15 years ago, or even more than that, League of Legends, when everything became a lot more official and we all moved, or teams started moving to LA and started going to an actual studio, that really made things feel a lot more official. So I feel like we're gonna miss it in a couple of years. So hopefully there can be kind of a hybrid, happy medium for the Americas region in a couple years. But we'll see. I'm excited for it though.
Okay, thank you. You're also known for being very involved in the game changer scene, following up on what were just discussed about the evolution of competitive ecosystem. How would you view the development of the women scenes today, and what do you think still need to be put in place for it to reach another level?
I think the most obvious thing that needs to be put in place is another stepping stone ladder after GC championships of being able to maybe especially with 2027 changing and the open qualifiers, maybe the GC team can have a direct invite to one of these open qualifiers. But something else that has the ladder to the next step up, so that we can see more co-ed teams and mixed teams and more different kinds of tournaments. I think that would be the next level up. But honestly, I think it's incredible how much progress the game changer scene has made in Valorant. There's a lot more to be done, but even now with how strong the Valorant GC community is, it's incredible. There's nothing like it in esports that's ever happened in my lifetime. So yes, of course, there's more work that needs to be done, but this is already very impressive as it is.
Okay, thank you. And we also see it like in EMEA. I don't know if you see the EMEA clash. We see like two VCT EMEA game changer invited teams who were involved like with all the VCT environment. So hope we can see more of that soon.
For sure, for sure. What, not an invite, a qualified, like
Yeah, of
gotta
course.
go into another open qualifier and make their way qualifying into it. That would be an insane storyline.
Okay, perfect. So that was my last question. Thank you, Peter. It was also again a pleasure to have you. Hope we can
Thank
meet
you.
again to talk about the VCT format more deeper. I think, but so thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Hopefully in London, we'll see each
Yeah,
other.
see you at London. Bye bye.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.